trend I will be talking about today is the trend of the gaming industry moving towards trying to find different ways to generate large amounts of revenue through either, there's a couple different ways they do it, but basically looking at previous games and pastimes. The only way a gaming industry could make money is by producing a title, putting it out, and getting revenue based off of sales of the game. However, as we move into a different era that incorporates mobile gaming as well as advertising and gaming, and as the video gaming industry grows from what is now said at about $90 billion total, companies, video game companies and outside companies are finding different ways in order to generate large amounts of revenue. The first being probably the earliest on, created through massive multiplayer games that require people to pay what's called a pay-to-play subscription. So you would see this in games such as World of Warcraft, EverQuest, and it's a set fee you have to pay once a month, usually about $15, on top of the $60 that you would originally pay for the first game. And what's kind of controversial about this that people often talk about is that you start comparing quality of game and whether or not it's worth a pay-to-play experience. And usually it's set up comparing it to games like World of Warcraft, who have been hugely successful. My example of this would be in 2012, Final Fantasy XIV released as a pay-to-play game were for $15 a month, and people just said the game wasn't up to par, there's many glitches, it really was not worth the money, and they had so much feedback about this and so many complaints that they originally pulled the title back and decided to remake the game and re-release it so that it was up to par with the standards of a pay-to-play game. The second way companies can create revenue, which is slowly increasing, is the idea of in-game advertising, which is when companies pay outside companies pay gaming companies to put their products, such as McDonald's or a cinema company, to advertise their products on billboards or vending machines within a game. This is currently in 2015 is projected to be about $3.1 billion put into in-game advertising, and projected by 2016 to increase to $7.2 billion spent on in-game advertising. And this is a huge amount of money being put into this because they're starting to realize that this gaming industry is no longer isolated to adolescent teen males, but also is expanding to almost, it's said that 97% of teenagers are video gaming on a regular basis, which is a huge customer base, and to not advertise in this area would be almost obscene. Now, the next way that companies are creating revenue or generating revenue through video gaming is the purchasing of in-game items with real-world currency. This is something that's been happening for a long time, especially in online computer games, but just recently with the expansion of mobile gaming, and even now in console gaming, you're starting to see the opportunity of spending actual money in-game. And they're encouraging this by setting in-game barriers that prevent you from moving at a certain rate. And if you want to excel at the same rate that you have previously been increasing at, it forces you to spend real-life money to buy these in-game currencies to break through the barrier without having to put large amounts of time into the game, getting through this barrier manually. And yes, those are my 3 ways of how companies are starting to generate revenue in the gaming industry outside of your typical purchase of a $60 game and play through it and go and buy another game. Alright, thank you.